One red card, one phone call, 64 years of World Cup rules gone. Folarin Balogun gets sent off. The rulebook says you missed the next game. No questions. Then the president calls FIFA and suddenly the rules has an exception. This video isn't just about one tackle, it's about who can bend football. Scandal 1, phone call vs rulebook. Scandal 2, VAR versus common sense. Scandal 3, Africa vs a system that calls itself global but doesn't play equal. And we end in the stands where a racist attack on IShowSpeed shows exactly who FIFA moves fast for. If you ever watched a match and thought this feels rigged, this one's for you. Balogun and Trump, World Cup 2026, USA vs Bosnia, round of 32. Folarin Balogun goes in for a challenge, studs catch the defender's ankle, ref sees it live, then goes to VAR, slow motion, freeze frame. Officials call it serious foul play, straight red card, automatic 1 match ban. Under FIFA rules, you are out of the next game, no normal pill. That next game, Belgium, knockout round. USA thinks the red is harsh. US soccer say slow-mo made the tackle look worse. And then the big call. President Donald Trump phones FIFA President Gianni Infantino, not a rumor, he says it himself on camera.
Yes, I asked for a review by FIFA. I spoke to a man who's highly respected.
He says he asked them to look again. He says the red card was unfair. Shortly after, FIFA Disciplinary Committee steps in. They use Article 27 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. Suspends Balogun's banned from banned to cleared for Belgium.
We have some breaking news as we welcome you back. They'll go with the flow. Striker Folarin Balogun will be available to play for the U.S. men's national team's round of 16 World Cup match against Belgium. Fender, that red card, also carried a 1-game suspension under FIFA rules, which meant he was going to sit out tomorrow's match. Well, that ban has been suspended and replaced with a 1-year probationary period. So
the last time anything like this happened at World Cup 1962, Garincha. Different era, different rules, same pattern. Now, 64 years later, FIFA does it again, this time with a phone call from the host country's president. Belgium are furious. They make a complaint.
And of course, the Belgians are outraged. They are astonished, saying that they are asking FIFA for a full report from the refereeing board on the decision here, and looks like they're investigating all options to try.
UEFA go further. They called the move unprecedented, incomprehensible, unjustifiable. They say FIFA crossed the red line, no pun intended. They warned the integrity of the game is at stake and the credibility of the competition is undermined.
And the European Soccer League, known as UEFA, said that this crossed a red line, writing, "When the certainty of rules is no longer guaranteed by its guardians, the integrity of the game is at stake and credibility of competition is undermined."
FIFA say the disciplinary body is independent.
FIFA's president Gianni Infantino confirmed the phone call took place, but said the decision to reverse the suspension was made by an independent judicial body, saying whether we personally like a decision or not is irrelevant. Respect for independent institutions and the rule of law is what protects the integrity of our competitions and the credibility of FIFA at all times.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Trump says he only asked for a review. But from the outside, it looks like this. Red card, phone call, reversal. USA still lose to Belgium 4-1.
Got him! Got him!
Balogun plays, they go out anyway. The result doesn't change, the trust does. If this makes your blood pressure go up, same. So before we get into how VAR makes this even messier, tap subscribe. It won't fix FIFA, but it might fix your YouTube recommendations. We were told VAR would fix football, make it fair. Instead, every World Cup turns into a VAR argument. VAR is supposed to step in only for clear and obvious errors, big mistakes.
VAR to get involved, it has to be a clear and obvious error, or it has to meet this high bar criteria to get it overturned. As soon as he goes to the screen, he's thinking in his mind, have I made a mistake here? Because they wouldn't send me to the screen unless I've made a mistake. Exactly. So that's influencing him. VAR was brought in to try and eradicate all this discourse around whether things have been a mistake or not. It's supposed to be definitive. We're now sat here talking about, well, Stockley Park hasn't shown the referee the right angle. It's just adding ludicrous loopholes and dialogues into the game that nobody wants.
But ask any fan, you see penalties given for tiny contacts. Penalties denied when the foul looks huge. Goals cancelled by centimetres offside lines you never see on the broadcast. One replay, penalty. Another replay, nothing. Same contact, different badge. Coaches walk into press conferences saying VAR is a lottery. Commentators call it more World Cup injustice. And the worst part is the silence. No clear explanation, no audio of the VAR conversation, just the ref pointing to the spot or waving play on. Now put that next to Balogun. His red card came after a VAR check. Slow-mo freeze frame, then a phone call, then a committee, then suddenly the punishment disappears. So you end up with a system where the technology feels random and the people running it can bend the rules from above. If that's justice, it's justice that depends who you are and which country you play for. African football brings life to the World Cup, players, fans, noise. But inside FIFA politics, Africa often feels second class. For years, African teams got fewer World Cup places than Europe, even with huge talent and fan bases. And when they do reach the tournament, big decisions hit hard. Example 1, Morocco versus France, World Cup 2022 semi-final. Morocco's federation files an official complaint to FIFA. They say there were 2 clear penalties that never came. First incident, Theo Hernandez collides with Sofiane Boufala in box. Morocco argue it's a foul on Boufal. Instead, Boufal gets booked. Salim Amala is grabbed and pulled at a set piece. No penalty, no VAR correction. Morocco say top referees see these as obvious penalties. They ask why VAR stayed silent. They don't get an answer that satisfied them. Egypt vs Argentina World Cup 2026. Egypt lead 2-0. On the edge of a massive upset, Mustafa Zico scores again. Egypt think they've put the game away. The VAR steps in. Officials go back into the move, find a foul by Maran Atia on Lisandro Martinez earlier in the phase. Ref watches the monitor, goal cancelled. Analysis say VAR went far back in time and space to find that foul. Later, Egypt push for a way back. There's a clear contact in the Argentina box. Shirt tug, foot on foot. No penalty, no VAR review. Minutes later, Argentina scored the winner. Egypt are out. Egypt coach Hossam Hassan calls the refereeing unfair. He says the World Cup feels directed towards Argentina.
أنا بقول إن إحنا كنا من حقنا إن إحنا نكسب. ومش عايز أقول هارد لك لينا، لا إحنا طلعنا بشرف من ناحيتنا، لكن النتيجة not fair. The world not fair. بس الفير حتى مش في الحياة العادية. مفيش فير في كورة. مفيش فير في الرياضة. مفيش. أنا مش مقتنع بالمباراة. مقتنع بفرقتي إنه قده، لكن أنا مش مقتنع باللي حصل في المباراة. ومش هتكلم كلام يعني متزوق واقول يعني هارد لاك جود ريزلت فور ارجنتين. لا مش هقول كده خالص. هقول ان احنا اتظلمنا النهارده بفعل فاعل.
Egyptian fans use one word, robbed. Pundits say VAR was inconsistent, happy to dig deep to cancel Egypt's goal, quiet when Egypt won a penalty. A referee posts a breakdown, says the VAR review broke protocol, says it hurt Egypt and helped send them home.
There were 2 big talking points for me in the Argentina versus Egypt game. Now, as we know, the VAB protocol, all goals are checked. Now, the second goal that Egypt scored from Zico, what a fantastic goal it was. Now, do we want goals like that ruled out? Now, they've gone all the way back for a foul on Martinez. Now, which is correct because VAR can check from that moment because it's in the same phase of play. Now, was it enough? Was it a clear and obvious error for VAR to get involved? For me, I would say no, but they have. They've looked at it and they've asked the referee to look at the video, the monitor, and obviously a free kick the goal was disallowed and a free kick given to Argentina. Now, this is where, for me, the inconsistency comes in because push that all the way forward, Salah goes into the box and he's caught by the Argentinian defender and Argentina go up the other end and make it 3-2. Now, again, all goals are checked. Now, for consistency, if you're looking at the Zico goal and the challenge on Martinez, if that's disallowed for a foul on the Argentinian player Martinez, then exactly the same has got to be applied to Salah. Now, you could argue both are the same, so why haven't VAR got involved in the Salah incident? Because if they do, then you've got to give a penalty to Egypt. Now, for me, VAR should not have got involved in either, but as they got involved in the Martinez challenge, they have to look at the Salah challenge, and that's where the inconsistency lies.
Put Morocco and Egypt side by side. Morocco filed a formal complaint. Egypt called the refereeing unfair. Both African teams feeling the biggest games of their history turned on cause they don't trust. And it's not just on the pitch. Qatar 2022, built by migrant workers from Africa and Asia, groups document abuse, unpaid wages, serious right problems. FIFA talks about remedy, compensation, but key report on representation is finished, still not fully published. Human rights groups say FIFA is dragging its feet, that justice for those workers is stuck in the slow lane. Then FIFA gives the 2034 World Cup to Saudi Arabia. Lawyers and former FIFA advisors filed a complaint. They say FIFA is breaking its own human rights policy. They point at free speech, women's rights, migrant workers. So when African teams look at all of this on the pitch and off it, football unites the world feels like a slogan, not reality. The human costs, same World Cup, same organization. Argentina versus Cape Verde in Miami. IShowSpeed, one of the biggest streamers on the planet, is there in the stands. Cape Verde shirt on, back in the underdog, streaming live on his stream. A fan nearby in an Argentinian shirt turns to him and racially abuses him, tells him to go home, uses dehumanizing languages, makes ape-like insults. Millions of people see it live. Speed looks stunned, chat explodes. FIFA responded. They put out a statement condemning the racism. They opened an investigation, say they're looking into it. As of now, no public sanctions, no bans announced, case still open. You don't need me to repeat the slur. It doesn't deserve the airtime. The point is, the speed, no pun intended. Balogun's red card ban lifted in days after a president calls. Speed, racist abuse case, statement, paperwork, waiting. 2 moments, same tournament. Very different urgency. So put it together, a red card rule and for a phone call, a VAR system that feels like a lottery. African teams feeling big decisions go against them and never get fixed. Workers and fans from Africa and Asia still waiting for proper justice. A black creator abused in FIFA Stadium, watching the investigation drag. FIFA say they're modern, reformed, neutral. They say football unites the world, but the pattern says something else. It says the game is fair until power gets involved. It says some voices get action in days and others get press releases and a waiting room. If that doesn't sit right with you, you are exactly who this channel is for. Was the Balogun decision justice or politics? Did African teams and fans get a fair shot, or did the system tilt? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. And if you want more deep dives into different subjects which I cover, please hit like and subscribe. Send this to a mate who still thinks this is just a game, because the beautiful game deserves better guardians. Big up.